Okay, so here we go. This is our second podcast, Caroline. I'm so happy that you're here. And this time, we actually wanted to cover something that I think is the fundamental. It's like more like the foundation of a home, right?
Yes.
Because we all of us know traditional ways of maybe saving for retirement, as 401k, Roth IRA, IRA. There's all kind of what everybody we know doing these days. But we would love to compare it to some that it's not traditional, that maybe ideas that you guys don't know, maybe you heard of and you would like to learn more. So we're going to discuss what's the difference. And we might not cover everything today, but at least we can start. How that? So, Caroline, can you start us and in that note where we want to go with this?
Yes, which points to a survey I was just reading about where it said that it was a survey of 2,000 people,
Mhm.
and some of those were people that were 15 years before retiring or less, 15 years
Mhm.
or less, and others were those in their retirement already. And I thought it was interesting, one of the statistics, which goes to our point here, that even though you said most everybody is participating in their company 401k plan
Mhm.
or has a Roth IRA, something to that effect, it's actually only about 65% of the people that are, or I guess it's 64,
Wow.
that are contributing. So it's a little over half. So even then, it shows that people aren't sure what to do.
Wow. I never knew it was that low. I mean, I thought it was more people that actually
No,
contributed.
it was only 64% were contributing to a 401k plan. And these are 5 years before retirement or another
Wow. So I
Roth.
wonder
Yeah,
what the other 40 some doing. Maybe they don't have anything actually.
well, that's true
Yeah.
too. And
Mhm.
even with savings, it was saying some only have maybe $50,000 in their their savings
Can
plan.
you imagine that? Yeah.
So to me, it's just validating that it's confusing.
Mhm.
And therefore, people either aren't starting, or I have met clients who have started, but then they've stopped contributing because life has happened.
Yeah.
So I
Mhm.
think an important part of what we're going to discuss today is what are some options that are available to us, and especially for those who perhaps are part of that 40% that haven't gotten started. Now what?
Yes, exactly. You're right. You're right. So as we know, a lot of companies do offer, uh, retirement kind of plan, which is kind of funny. After I learned the other option, it's almost like thinking like, is it really retirement? Because it's, as we know, most of those options, the traditional, are attached to the stock market.
Mhm.
Now, Caroline, what do you think? Can you tell us and the audience what does that mean when it's actually
Well, this
in
is
the stock market?
right. This is the other part of the equation, and you and I are old enough to have lived through 2008,
Oh,
and
mhm.
and also a few other moments where things people lost money in the stock market.
Stock, yeah, mhm,
In fact, I was just with Grant Cardone last
mhm.
week. He talked about, let's see, what was the banking, the company that totally their stock just plummeted a few years ago. Um, I haven't, I can't remember, but it was only a penny. It was down to $1 a share, and
Shoosh.
Grant thought, well, it can't really go down much more than that. It's
Mm,
bound to go up from here. Lehman Brothers, I think.
mm.
And so he bought $1 million of the shares at $1, and it went to zero.
Oh my goodness
He lost,
gracious.
he lost everything. So that's the problem with the stock market is, yes, it's exciting when it's doing well, but it can also go to zero where you lose everything.
Well, I think just 6 months ago. You're right, but 6 or 8 months ago, there was like a really dip, like a 30%. I remember talking to a friend, and he was like, as I knew it was a big hit, and I kind of asked him. I said, "Hey, what happened to your 401k?" I said, "Well, I don't even want to look." I said, "No, just look, look." He lost 30%. And but in his mind, well, it's going to go up. I said, yes, but how long it's going to take it to go up? And
Mhm.
even if, let's say it's 3, the least amount, 3, 4, whatever, 7 years, but you're still losing that time for growth.
Mhm.
We don't only want to not to lose, we don't want to waste that 5, 6 years that we can grow it, right?
That's exactly right. And that's the other part of the equation that I never considered, because we were always told it's going to come back. And, but at, exactly to your point, with each, it may come back in a year, may come back in 3 years. And there are always dips. If you look at the last 25 years of the stock market,
Oh,
yes,
yeah,
there were good years, but there were also negative years. And
absolutely.
and compounding, the power of compounding is not having loss. And then it becomes a mathematical equation and not just a
Mhm.
hope and a wish that,
Yeah, exactly. I
that
wish. I
that
know.
your money's going to grow every 7 to 10 years. And sadly, our human desire is to go after those, like with cryptocurrency, go after the things that have the big highs because
Hmm.
that's exciting. And slow and steady isn't nearly as exciting, but there is a great payoff by being conservative, and slow and steady really does win the race in retirement planning.
Exactly. And that's, I think, the key for retirement.
Yeah.
Because if we're really hoping to have any kind of substantial amount and live comfortable in retirement, we can't be doing those crazy stuff and risky all the time, because we end up with some money, but by all means, it's not enough for retirement. It's just really not.
Right,
So,
right. And then the other part of the equation that we also, well, weren't taught to ask is, okay, so you are working for a company, you have a great income, you know about the company match, you're putting in enough to meet the match, but here's the question: where's this really taking me?
mhm,
And is it getting me the retirement income I want? I was when I was just on this business trip, and we've all had this experience on our GPS
mhm.
where we put in an address, and then it gives us some options. Fastest route is usually at the
I
top.
know. What
And
a
then there's
great.
avoid highways or
Uh-huh.
avoid toll roads or whatever. But we never think about that with our 401k plan of finding out, is this really the fastest route to getting and what's my retirement income going to be?
Exactly.
It was just last year that it was made mandatory that when a person begins their 401k plan, that they're also given that schedule of what is that retirement income going to look like.
Wow, it's
That
about
wasn't
time.
part of the equation. And this started back in the 70s to 80s, is when the 401k was first introduced
Hmm.
and became our cultural retirement plan, our
Yes.
United States retirement plan. So that I
Mhm.
just going back to that that question is, well, how much retirement income is this going to produce for me?
Exactly. And so that brings me to a very good point, because in that tradition, retirement, they're expecting us to live on 4%. Can you go and tell us kind of like a little bit, what does that mean, the 4%? What is that 4% rule?
Yes. Well, it went back to the question that's finally there was a study done where people said, okay, so I'm saving, and I've been
Mhm.
told to save $1 million. And even if I'm on track to $1 million in my savings, my 401k by the time I retire, well, then you ask, how much can I draw out each year for my income so that I
Mhm.
don't run out? And that was the study proved or showed that if you just live off of 4%, which ideally is the growth on your 401k overall amount, that hopefully you would only live off of the interest earned on your money. And that
Mhm.
would be retirement income. But let's just do the math.
Mhm.
$1 million in your 401k plan, and 4% of that is $40,000.
I
Now,
know.
first of all, I think if you were so good at saving, it wasn't because you had a $40,000 a year job. I don't
No.
know anyone on that kind of
Mhm.
income that isn't living paycheck to paycheck. They're not
Mhm.
going to be saving substantially. So most likely, I can also not imagine anyone in retirement wanting to live off of $40,000 a
Oh,
year.
I know, but it's taxed too.
Yes, and
It's not
that's what I was
Roth. You're going to
point
pay
out.
taxes.
Now you've got to pay taxes on that because
Mhm.
you sold the idea that it's better to pay taxes in retirement than it is to pay taxes now.
Mhm.
And I don't know what taxes are going to be when I retire. I
We
don't.
don't.
And if you're 20 and well, yes, we just don't. It's a variable that we have no control over unless you want to be part of the government lawmakers that make those decisions. But good luck with lowering taxes.
You're right. You're right. And so this is so we what we've talked so far that we saw that the traditional we are not protected because it's the stock market. It
Mhm.
goes up and down. I can tell you, obviously, I lived long life. I mean, longer than 20, and I've seen our money plums. Like we came out of the stock market about a decade ago because we decided this is just not going to work. But we lost quite a bit. It's not because we did something wrong, it's because the market just plunged. And
It,
then we had to wait another 5 years to grow. And then it's never quite made money as much. Yeah, it made nice, but not enough for to retirement. There's no way I could have retired for that money, and especially draw like 4%. It seems like so little.
why,
And
that's why I find that our clients are looking for additional places to put their money
more
for
money.
security,
Exactly.
for that security. And I was going to add the other part of that
Mhm.
equation is when you're working and you're adding money and there are dips, but it's
Mhm.
going up and down and up, but you're always told that you're going to end up ahead. Well, you do not want those losses happening to you at age 55 when you're
Exactly. Can you imagine?
your retirement. And I've worked with people who had to work longer because that indeed happened to them in their retirement account. So
Mhm.
what's going to happen with your money manager for your 401k account is they're going to have to transition a good portion of your 401k to something far more secure, whether
Exactly.
it's CDs, whether it is the bond market, treasury bonds, and those are more protected, but there's not very much growth on those. And
Yes.
that's where when we're saying if you're wanting to live off the interest, I that's where you're going to have your growth coming from is the treasury bond market. And
Yes.
again, with the government the way it is and with our debt of our country the way it is, that affects your return on CDs and treasury bonds.
Absolutely.
So that's where you're really at the mercy of things that have.
We don't have control of that. We
Yeah,
just really don't.
and that's where you and I were just looking at, okay, so we know that real estate is a great place to put our money, and yes, there are highs and lows, but there's residual income, there's
Mhm.
tax write-offs, there's a lot of advantages to that.
Mhm.
And at the same time, where else could we put our money that is, I think I talked about it the last time, and this sleep well at night where we have peace of mind
Yes.
and knowing that the market isn't going to affect what we are working so hard to save for our future.
Absolutely. So
And
yes.
that's
Mhm.
life insurance. And that's why we are so passionate about people understanding the power or the advantage of having that part of our retirement plan.
Yes, because it's kind of like, as you said, I think we spoke about it last time. We talked about you mentioned that we insure everything in our life, our car, our health, everything is insured, but our retirement is actually does not have any insurance to it. And through different venues that we will maybe probably start touching a little bit about it, we're probably going to need to continue because there's so much to learn
There is.
about the option there that we can do so much better for our retirement. And really, actually, when you start really young, which is the best, right? When you're healthy and you're doing well and you start young, you can actually literally plan when you want to retire and how much actually, if we know what you really want to earn, we can reverse engineer it and figure out how you can get there.
Yes.
and much more secure, right?
Yes. Yes. In fact, I am really passionate about teaching, and you as well, about teaching parents who have kids
Yes.
what is
Mhm.
possible. And I know that, for example, I had a friend who, when her grandchildren were born, she started a uh, Roth IRA for them, and which is great. And insurance, doing the same thing with a cash value life insurance policy
Mhm.
for your children when they're younger. It takes very little contribution to create a very significant retirement income at whatever age they choose, or even the possibility for schooling down the road, or a down payment on real estate in the future. It
Yes.
more accessible than a Roth IRA is.
Oh,
Oh,
yes,
you can
much more.
in real estate through a Roth IRA, but there's additional benefits. I mean, life insurance, for example. Uh,
Mhm.
in this study that I cited earlier, that one of the biggest current concerns that people have with their retirement years is their health. That's a big.
Well, I think it can be true to any age. We really don't know. We really
Yeah.
don't know what day tomorrow. We're not promised tomorrow. And I've seen, unfortunately, young people that things happens to their life, or in their 20, in their 30, but that way they can really actually protect themselves. You
Yes.
don't start when you're sick. You start when you're healthy.
Yes.
That's when you benefit.
And then we're talking about cash value life insurance as far
Mhm.
as having permanent life insurance,
Yes.
meaning especially for young children. You start them with a permanent life insurance policy, they'll have it the rest of their life,
Hmm.
even if their health situation changes. And I've had that situation in my own family where I have a son who won't qualify for life insurance, most likely
Hmm.
ever, due to being diagnosed with leukemia uh, when he was
Hmm.
22. So I that's why I'm completely an advocate. And also the other part of the equation that I've noticed with youth is oftentimes those teenage years are so challenging. And when I have parents who are understanding about cash value life insurance, and they're thinking, "Oh, I really want to get my teenagers started," and then they actually don't qualify because they're experiencing depression, they're having suicidal
Oof,
ideology, and those heavy things happen in puberty
I
to
know.
and they're not happening in a 2-month-old or a 5 year
Absolutely.
old in that kind of way. So I just think the greatest thing you really could do for your children, first of all, for you to understand where the role of cash value life insurance fits in your equation of preparing for
Mhm.
the future, and then getting your children started
Yeah,
uh, as early as
absolutely.
possible to give them that financial uh, support and opportunities for
Mhm.
life.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like, wow, I wish we learned that a little earlier, right? But it's okay. We're here, and the idea is to bring awareness to people that's how important it is, because as young people think, oh, I'm young, they think they're invincible, nothing can happen to them, but it's nothing further from the truth, really. I
Yeah.
know. I've seen, like, even my son-in-law, my ex-son-in-law, that had a deadly, I mean, he was so lucky that he didn't die at 26, having a motorcycle accident. He never planned on it, you know? You just
Yeah.
don't plan on things like that. You don't plan to have an accident. You don't plan to be sick. And we don't know. And I think it's very important to start. And then, of course, there's so many more benefits that we're going to cover in the future episodes, like how it works and how we can compound and what's the benefit. And yeah, and maybe we can even try, we can share our screen and show some calculation to really so how it's really amazing.
Yeah, I would just say you could, in between now and the next
Yeah.
one, I agree, going on the calculator is fun, and anyone can go on the calculator, just
Mhm.
go to
Yeah.
compoundinterest.com and
Yes.
look up MPI calculator. And just there talking about starting a 401k and not really know where that's taking you. This helps you to see right away where
Exactly.
the MPI strategy using cash value life insurance, the path that you would be on and the fastest path to where you want to go. Because you can make up the age you want to retire, put in all sorts of different numbers. What if I contribute this much per month? Here's how old I am, and do it for your kids as well. When I show parents that they could be contributing for their toddler with even $100 a month, and they could have over a six-figure retirement income.
Can you believe that? It's like unbelievable.
It was $100 a month the rest of their life. It's astonishing, honestly.
It really is. It really is. So yes, that's the beauty of compound, right? Like how Albert Einstein said, the one that understands compound earns it. The one that doesn't pays it.
Yeah.
And interest, yeah.
Well, and it goes back to the principle of protecting your money.
Exactly.
Not
paying yourself first.
Yes, paying yourself first.
That's the motto. Pay yourself first.
Have the capacity to compound, and then the security of where it is, which is a life insurance company.
Exactly.
They have survived the Great Depression. They've survived every downturn in the market. And regardless of what your current opinion is of life insurance companies, which everyone has an opinion, and some are favorable and some not. But in this case, as a place to put your money for security for the future, to me, it's the first place to think about getting started.
Absolutely, because I think the bank is the last. I harp on my kids. I said, money in your bank shouldn't be in your bank. It doesn't do nothing. It makes your bank makes money, not you.
Yeah, because what do they do with it?
We know that.
What does the bank do with your money? They were investing.
It's investing it somewhere.
And so do insurance companies. That's where they put a lot of their money as well, and which goes to what we'll discuss in future episodes of how state needs to be part of your financial plan for the future as well.
I think it's a good start.
Yeah.
We definitely we'll cover more about the benefits of alternative, and we can compare it side by side, truly side by side, and see what's the difference. So can people have more educated decision and said, okay, this is something maybe I need to investigate more,
Well, and I just wanted to add one other thing I found was also very interesting from a couple of different studies that I've seen, that people who have that security of their money and also the accessibility of their money, which both life insurance offers them, they live longer.
Oh, yeah, because they have peace of mind.
That peace of mind.
Absolutely.
So isn't that what we're all after, is a peace of mind?
Of course. I mean, life is full of challenges anyway, so might as well have one side of our life maybe less challenging. We kind of...
a thing that we know it's there, it's taken care of, it's going to provide for us, it's not going to go away. We're not going to worry that we're going to lose some of it. So we can focus on other life challenges.
Absolutely. So the caveat is really somebody that thinking about doing something, they have to be very, very committed to it. It's not something that you just do for, a very short time and you're thinking, oh, maybe not, or maybe yes, just really need to be committed. But I think we all should be committed for our retirement.
Commit to ourselves, because at the end of the day, that's everything. It's our future is not going to take care of itself without us planning.
Absolutely.
And having knowledge about what that plan is
exactly
and what steps we need to take. So that's good for today.
Yes, awesome. So for all the people that take action, please let us know if we can help. You can reach out, Caroline, myself, and we can help you understand more. So thank you, Caroline. It was wonderful seeing you. And till next time.
Great.